The Irish War of Independence was a guerrilla war fought between two belligerents, which were the IRA, also known as the Irish Republican Army, and the British Army, along with British security forces in Ireland from 1919 to 1921. Today I'll be going over the pre-war years in Ireland from 1912 to 1918 to go over what led up to the Ireland's War of Independence in 1919. What really started the chain reaction that would lead to the War of Independence was the demand for home rule for Ireland by the Irish Nationalists, which wasn't a new topic for the British Parliament, for it being demanded since the 1880s. Parliament eventually agreed and voted on home rule for Ireland 4 separate times, by voting on legislation known as Home Rule Bills. There were 4 bills that were introduced, which were in 1886, 1893, 1912, 1914, and 1920. The first Home Rule Bill was in 1886, but was defeated in the House of Commons in Parliament and was never introduced to the House of Lords. The second one was introduced in 1893 and actually passed in House of Commons but was defeated in the House of Lords. The fourth Home Rule Bill was thought of and created in 1912 through 1913. It was actually made legislation in 1914 and was passed under the Parliament Act, but was never put into force due to Britain entering World War I and the Easter Rising in Dublin in 1916. The fourth Home Rule Bill was created in 1920 and established Northern Ireland as a Home Rule entity within the UK. It also attempted to do the same with Southern Ireland, but instead it became the Irish Free State under the Irish Free State Constitution Act of 1922. But every topic has its critics. There were 2 groups in Ireland that had different views on Irish home rule, and they were the Unionists and the Nationalists. The Unionists didn't want home rule and wanted to remain a part of the British Empire, while the Nationalists wanted home rule for all of Ireland. To oppose home rule, the Unionists formed an armed militia called the Ulster Volunteers in 1912 to make sure the Home Rule Bill would not pass. After hearing of Unionists arming themselves to make sure home rule would never happen, the Nationalists formed their own militia known as the Irish Volunteers to make sure that the Home Rule Bill was passed in Parliament. However, the tension between the 2 groups ceased after they called a truce to work together to help with the British war effort against the Central Powers in the First World War, when Britain joined the war in the August of 1914. But in 1916, all hell broke loose in Dublin when on Easter Sunday, radical Irish nationalists, led by the Irish Republican Brotherhood, carried out an armed rebellion by attacking government offices and buildings to try and get the British out of Dublin and Ireland for good. The rebels who carried out the rebellion were unhappy with Ireland helping Britain in the war, seeing it as an English war, not an Irish war, and also felt that home rule fell too short of complete Irish independence. They also proclaimed an Irish Republic during the rebellion. After a week of fighting and 500 casualties, the rebellion was put down, and all of the signatories of the proclamation and the leaders of the rebellion were tried and executed, and about 3,000 nationalists were arrested. But these acts carried out by the British government made Irish public opinion turn against them. In an effort to restart negotiations for Irish Home Rule, in 1916 and 1917, the British released all of the prisoners from the Easter Rising, but this also would hurt them, because most of the prisoners joined the Sinn Féin party with their anger at their British jailers, and they also led a very popular and strong campaign against conscription for Ireland. As time went on, confrontation between the Sinn Féin party with its Irish volunteer activists against the RIC, or the Royal Irish Constabulary, with the British Army occurred, with many Republicans being arrested under the charge of conspiring with Germany and holding public parades, which were banned under legislation. However, the Sinn Féin party started to grow in influence and popularity, which was proved in the Irish general election in the December of 1918, when the Sinn Féin party won the majority, taking 73 seats out of the 105 seats. But instead of taking their seats in Parliament at Westminster, the Sinn Féin members stayed in Ireland and formed their own Irish Parliament, which was also known as the Dáil, and met for the first time in January 1919 and proclaimed an Irish Republic. Well, that was part 1 of the Irish War of Independence video. The next part will come out somewhere next week, and it'll actually be covering the actual war. And, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, feel free to give it a like. If you have any questions about it or this topic, feel free to comment down below in the comment section. And if you don't want to miss the next video, the second part, or any other videos, feel free to subscribe. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. HistorySoldier out.